Hi, Angela here. I wasn't planning on doing a video for my morning walk, but I couldn't resist when I was noticing the river and what the river's message was for me this morning, and I couldn't help but share. I'm Angela Herzog. I'm a psychotherapist here in Guelph, Ontario, and I've been starting a new series called Walk in the Woods with Angela, and it's a series intending to get outside, explore the wonders of the natural world, and getting curious about how that impacts our internal experiences. So today, as I was walking, I'm very aware of what's going on in our city, in our province, in our country, in the world, and how we can really feel that on many different layers. And as I was walking and seeing this river, I was noticing how at this time of the year, the river's quite overflowed. As you can see, the water's way beyond its banks and going into the land way more than usual. And it reminds me of that really is how we explain trauma to our clients. That trauma is anything that overwhelms our system and it becomes too much that it starts to flood us and get over our banks. And right now, we are experiencing a lot of things bombarding us and a lot of threats to our system. And rightfully so, our system can feel like we're being flooded. And our banks aren't enough to hold what all is happening right now. And so it's so normal to be feeling extra anxious right now, overwhelmed, uncertain, scared. I say hello to all of that for your inner experience right now. And I also want to get curious about what actually creates more banks, so it doesn't feel like so much right now. We can't change what's coming at us, but we can build more banks. So if this river was able to get more banks, it wouldn't feel like it's in such overflow right now. So this is a time we get actually curious about what are some banks that we can build. And a big one, as much as we're going into isolation, community is essential to continue to build the banks. And I'm loving how Guelph is coming together, creating community. And so I invite you to continue to reach out to loved ones and feel how that supports your body. It also might be actually getting outside. It might be actually just looking outside. It might actually be doing some exercise in your house. It might be actually taking a moment to feel your feet on the ground. It might be noticing the sounds of the birds all around. Even as I start to name those things, I can feel my system start to settle and my breathing start to go deeper, my voice start to go slower. So all of a sudden, I have more banks in my system, for lack of a better way to describe that. And so the list is endless of what kind of banks you could use. And I think what I'm going to do the next day or so, I'm going to do a little inside walk in the woods with Angela and talk a little bit more about some ways of doing that, of increasing our banks during this time. So stay tuned on that. And I hope, if anything, that just watching this river right now and the rhythm of that also has supported something to be a little bit different on the inside. We all have resilient bodies, and we all have ways that can build more support during this time. And I can appreciate at times it feels like that's impossible. And it feels like all the resources are going right now. And so it's time to be a little bit extra intentional. I've talked to a couple colleagues and friends that were for sure checking in and texting each other. I gave a little extra snuggle to my kitty this morning. And so there's all these little tiny things we can do. So I'm curious, and you can share, what are some things you do to make sure your banks are a little bit stronger right now? Please share. I'd love to hear because, of course, we get to hear lots of ideas from other people as well. I wish you many blessings of hope and riding the waves of stress and anxiety right now as we continue collectively figure out what are the banks that we need to contain this.